All natural and no refined sugar.
You get that close?
Okay, this is torture because we're not eating it.
I think someone took a little lick on the top. Cafe Chez Chez, which is an organic cafe at 408 Main Street. And last year, I went up and down Main Street, and I couldn't find anything to eat because everything had sugar in it, except Cafe Chez Chez's beautiful pumpkin soup. And so I talked to Chef Alfredo and I said, oh my God, this soup is so amazing. Can you make a pumpkin pie next year without sugar? And he said yes. So this year I called up and I said, Chef, do you have a pumpkin pie without sugar? And he said yes, and here it is. So this is one of the first two on Main Street this year, 2013. This is the man, he put it on the map. And this is pumpkin pie, all, that he can tell you what it's sweetened with. So Chef, turn it over to you.
The dough is made with coconut sugar. And the filling has maple syrup, 100% maple syrup, and agave syrup to sweeten it. So that's all the sweetness it has.
Now I think you have a cake bite. I think we should have this young lady. She has never had anything like this before. We have this gorgeous woman who is hungry and she likes coconut syrup. Okay, so we want you to take a bite of this and know that it is guilt-free. You just go ahead, honey, and just dig in here. Just break it off. Just take both hands. It's a two-handed thing. It's a little hand pie here. There you go. And just break off a piece. There you go.
Oh my God, that's a big
Don't
piece.
be shy. Don't be shy. You're gonna love it. Remember, pumpkins are mood optimizers.
You gotta try it. Cherry. Put your hand in it.
It's really good, isn't it? You feel better already, don't you? Pumpkins are mood optimizers. Ooh. So now you know where to come. Chef Alfredo, Cafe Chez Chez, 408 Main.
They're good. Really
Thanks,
good.
Chef.
Oh my God.
Isn't that good? Well, I'm a holistic health coach, and I live up in Marin, but I work all over the country. And I'm actually here as a public service, really to show people wonderful alternatives to refined white sugar that you can use in the holidays and with pumpkin recipes. So I figured what better place to come than the Pumpkin Fest. We have 200,000 people here, and we've had so many people come to find out about healthy sugar alternatives.
So what are those alternatives?
Well, today I'm actually sampling from Madhava, which is one of the original purveyors of natural sweeteners. They started with honey in Colorado in the 70s, and this is actually coconut sugar. And it comes from the flower of the coconut tree, and they slit it, and the sap collects, so it's 100% unrefined. It's low glycemic, which means it's better for your blood sugar, and it's delicious. It tastes like light brown sugar. It's organic, and what's great is it's better for the environment because it uses only 20% of the environmental resources. Whereas cane, you have to slash and burn it and contribute to global warming. This is a tree, and it lives for many years, and it comes from Bali. So people love it. It's great on oatmeal. It's great in baking, replacing one-for-one sugar, refined sugar, and it's delicious with pumpkin.
Okay, so what's the good part about? I know you were talking about environmental reasons for coconut sugar, but what's the health concerns? Like, what's so great about sugar that's coconut rather than refined sugar?
Well, you know what? I've studied with the world's largest nutrition school, Institute for Integrative Nutrition, and I attended a lecture actually by Julia Ross, who has the Addiction Recovery Center in Mill Valley, California. And the lecture was entitled, "White Sugar is 4 times more addictive than crack cocaine, and it's the single biggest health epidemic facing humanity." And that day, I cut white sugar and out, like completely. And that was 2 years ago, and it changed my life. I went through withdrawal for 1 week. Every time I went near a bake shop, I felt like I was sucked in. It was like, ugh. But you know, I ate this. I mean, I'd eat a date, I'd eat a fig, I'd eat a sweet potato, I'd put maple syrup. And so I made it through. And if you can make it through those 70 days, you are home free. And so the thing about white sugar is it's actually a drug. It's not a food. If it was invented today, it would have to be classified as a drug because it has no nutritive value. And it really is more addictive than cocaine. I looked at the documenting clinical studies from the University of Bordeaux in Bordeaux, France, and it's right on Julia Ross's website. Now, Julia Ross is an expert. She wrote The Food Cure, The Mood Cure, The Diet Cure, and she's well renowned for her work with sweeteners. So it impressed me, and I want to spread the good news that, you know, it can really be delicious, and it's actually more delicious. I don't miss white sugar at all. This is actually much better.
Okay, so what started you on this whole health kick for the coconut sugar rather than refined sugars?
Well, you know, I've actually been a health educator since I was a teenager. You know, back in Pittsburgh, PA, I was involved with the first natural foods food co-op, and I've been an organic chef. And so we didn't have these things back then, but now, I mean, we've got so many amazing things. I want to show them to you. So, and people now listen to Dr. Oz, and Dr. Oz has been talking about coconut sugar. And so I just want to get the message out. So I really appreciate this opportunity.
So what's about your shirt? Could you tell me a little bit about that?
Well, what I did is I have a nonprofit called Visionary Green. It's a 501c nonprofit. And so I love pumpkins, so I thought what better thing than to have a shirt called Pumpkin Lovers Unite. And when you go to this website, you can sign up for the free Pumpkin Gazette. And so that's a monthly newsletter, and it's going to have fabulous health tips for health and beauty, all with no sugar. So you can have healthier holidays without refined sugar. That means less sugar, less stress. There are a few things in my kitchen cupboard. Now, one of my favorites is grade B maple syrup. You can make, this is from Whole Foods. Actually, I don't buy the grade A maple syrup. I buy only the B. Now, it's not a quality difference, it's a health difference. There's less refinement here, and it's richer, and it has more minerals. I put this in pumpkin pie, and it makes the best whipped cream. No one even knows it's in it, and it's delicious.
Yeah,
so
I've never even heard of that.
I put that on my oatmeal. Of course, we have honey, people are familiar with. I love that on biscuits and scones. One of my favorites here is pomegranate concentrate. You can get this at a Middle Eastern store. Mix it with sparkling water and a wedge of lime, and it is fabulous. It's a sparkler that's better than any soda.
Yeah.
You can put it in champagne and white wine and make a sparkling kir. This is another exotic one. This is date syrup. If you mix date syrup and rose water and ice and froth it up with water in a blender, it turns into this beautiful blended drink called a jaleb, which is wonderful in Middle Eastern cooking. And then some of our more exotics over here, we have the Peruvian yakan root syrup. Now, if you take this and mix it 50-50 with raw agave, you have a delicious caramel sauce. You can drizzle this over things. And what's great is it's all raw and it's low glycemic. This actually has FOS on it, fructooleosaccharides, which are prebiotic. That means these are actually good for your tummy. They help your digestive abilities. So that's a real special one. Then we have coconut nectar. You can put this on pancakes. It comes from the same flour as the coconut sugar. And again, it's low glycemic. So these are wonderful products. And then I have, this is my corner of the table for diabetics. Now, Dr. Oz has just been raving about this. This is monk fruit. Comes from China. It's a little fruit on a vine, and it's been used for hundreds of years in China. And it's a medicinal plant that has 0 calories. It's hundreds of times sweeter than sugar. So this is optimum for diabetics. And the other one that's very good for diabetics is stevia. This is a plant, a little leaf is 300 times sweeter than sugar. So just a little bit of this goes a long way, and you can get it in a liquid or a packet. So this is great for diabetics. There's also xylitol, which comes from the birch tree. I actually got a bottle of birch water at Rainbow Foods in San Francisco recently. It was just yummy. The only problem with xylitol is it can cause a little tummy distress for some people. So I really recommend these two. They don't have any side effects. Sometimes stevia can have a bitter aftertaste, so you want to look for one that says non-bitter.
So what are the two that you recommend? Sorry.
Well, my favorite really are the monk fruit and the stevia.
Okay.
Yes. Whoops. And now, the other thing I wanted to just share too for the pumpkin season, one of my favorite breakfasts, you can get this at Costco. And by the way, the coconut sugar now is at Costco on the West Coast and Whole Foods and New Leaf. So I open up some of this pumpkin, I get some unsweetened yogurt, I stir in some grade B maple syrup and sprinkle on pumpkin pie spice, stir it up. It is fabulous. Homemade pumpkin yogurt for breakfast. I love that. And then it's great to put on chopped fruit. Right now in the farmer's market, We have the fuyu persimmon, which is eaten crunchy like an apple. And then we have the hachaya persimmon. You wait until this gets very, very soft, and it is like the best pudding in the world. Now, when they're very, very ripe, you can slice them, and I get these at my farmer's market up at the Civic Center in Marin County. These are better than any candy. These are dried fuyu persimmons. They are fabulous. And then, of course, we're in pomegranate season, so these are totally yummy. And one of my other favorites this time of the year, I always play Guess the Fruit. This is a hard one. These are jujubes. These actually come fresh and crispy like an apple, and dried, they taste like a soft caramel marshmallow. And they're actually tonic foods. They're medicinal. They've been used for thousands of years in Chinese medicine. And this is another Guess the Food. A lot of people think this is ginger. This is a Jerusalem artichoke root, and this is used to make Jerusalem artichoke syrup. Now this is delicious. It tastes like molasses, and again, it's low glycemic and it's got prebiotics in it, so it's really, really healthy. I love these little critters though. You chop them up fresh and they taste like water chestnuts in your salad. You can marinate them and eat them raw, or you can cut them up and mash them up and cook them and steam them in soups, and they take like little potatoes. They're really, really, really yummy. And speaking of potatoes, this is a white Japanese sweet potato. And when they are baked, they have a nice, mild, starchy flavor, a little bit like roasted chestnuts off of the tree. So this is all about discussing wonderful alternatives. This season we have so many delicious squashes. You can take the kombucha squash and mash it up, and then put some coconut milk in it, some salt and pepper, a little soy sauce, some chili flakes, and you have a beautiful Thai curry style pumpkin soup. So these are just a few of the wonderful things that I like to encourage people to do to enjoy healthy sweeteners.
Great.
Yeah.
I see this little thing back here. What is that?
Well, actually, I wrote this up, and when people go to my website, pumpkinloversunite.com, and sign up for the Pumpkin Gazette, I'm going to be offering them all kinds of tips and guides to my favorite top sweeteners and sweet treats. So we're going to have all kinds of information for folks as well as recipes. And I'm actually approaching health food stores to provide lists. This is New Leaf right in Half Moon Bay. And if people ask, we're going to have them carry even more wonderful products. And I'm actually starting an organization called SAP, S-A-P, which means Sugar Alternatives Pledge. And I'm going to be asking food artisans and entrepreneurs and enterprises to make the pledge to carry at least one dessert item that doesn't have any refined sugar on the menu, because for years I'm a little bit tired of being able to go into a restaurant and not being able to order a dessert. So this will be great to have more and more people join the bandwagon and offer alternatives for people that are healthier. Pumpkin lovers unite!